Hello. Today we're going to walk through a few arithmetic questions. The first one we are going to look at is John earned 85, 93, 95, and 80 points on 4 tests. Each test was worth 100 points, given so far this term. How many points must he earn on his 5th test, also worth 100 points, to average 90 points for 5 tests given this term? Well, we know how to find the average. We have to add up each number and then divide it by the amount of numbers, and that will give us the average. Well, in this case, we know the average is going to equal 90. And we know that he's going to have a total of 5 tests. So we know that it's going to be some number divided by 5 is going to equal 90. Well, we can solve for n. We have to try to get n by itself. In order to do that, we can multiply both sides by 5. That cross cancels out. That leaves us with n equals 90 times 5. Well, we can multiply 90 times 5 out. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 9 is 45. N equals 450. So we know that the sum of all of his tests has to equal 450 in order for the average to be 90. Well, we know what he got on 4 of his tests, so we can add those numbers up. He had 85 plus 93 plus 95 plus 80. 5 times 3 is 8 plus 5. And then we have 8 plus 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 8 gives us 35. So we have 353. Now if we subtract our 450 by 353, that will give us our missing number. So we have 450 minus 353. Well, we have to borrow. 10 minus 3 is 7. We have to borrow. 14 minus 5 is 9. John has to earn 97 on his 5th test in order to get an average of 90 points. Now, we can double check our work by adding up 85, 93, 95, and 80 plus 97. Well, we know that 85, 93, 95, and 80 equals 353. Let's add 97 to that. 7 plus 3. 9 plus 5 plus 1 is 15. 3 plus 1 is 4. 450. So we take, in order to find the average, we take 450 divided by, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. 5 goes into 45 9 times. Bring down the 0. 5 goes into 0 0 times. The average is 90. That checks out. John must earn 97 points on his 5th test in order to get an average of 90 points this term. The next problem we are going to look at is a permutation combination type problem. It says, Mark and Juanita own a sandwich shop. They offer 3 kinds of bread, 5 kinds of meat, and 3 kinds of cheese. Each type of sandwich has a combination of exactly 3 ingredients: 1 bread, 1 meat, and 1 cheese. How many types of sandwiches are possible? Well, we can use each kind of bread. So we have, well, let's look at, we have 3 kinds of cheese, 3 kinds of bread, 5 kinds of meat. Bread, meat, and cheese. Well, we're going to use our combination rule is n factorial over n minus r factorial, where n is the number of items and r is the amount of each item. For example, we have 3 kinds of bread, but you're only going to choose one bread. So you would plug 3 in for n and 1 in for r. If you were able to choose 2 types of bread, then you would plug 2 in for r. So for the first one, for our bread, we plug in 3 factorial over 3 minus 1, because we can choose one type of bread, factorial. Well, factorial is 3 times 2 times 1. That's if it were 7 factorial, it would be 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. In this case, it's just 3. So we have 3 times 2 times 1 over, well, 3 minus 1 is 2, and 2 factorial. That equals 2 times 1. Well, here we can cross cancel out. 1 divided by 1, and the 2 divided by 2. That leaves us with 3. The next one is the 5 meat. We plug the 5 in for n this time. The r is still going to be 1 because we can only choose one type of meat. So we have 5 factorial over 5 minus 1 factorial. That gives us 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 over 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 factorial is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Again, those cancel out. That leaves us with 5. And then the bottom one, we have 3 cheese. Well, it's the same as the 3 breads. It's 3 factorial over 3 minus 1 factorial. We already know that's going to be 3. The next thing you do is you just multiply each answer together. So we have 3 times 5 times 3. Well, 3 times 5 is 15. 15 times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 1 is 4. You get 45. There are 45 possible sandwich combinations if you have 3 kinds of bread, 5 kinds of meat, and 3 kinds of cheese, only being able to choose exactly 3 ingredients: 1 bread, 1 meat, and 1 cheese. That's how you would solve this problem. The last problem that we're going to work on today is, what number can you add to the numerator and denominator of 7/9 to get 1/2? Well, what number, let's use x for what number, can you add to 7/9 to get 1/2? Well, now we just solve for x. We can subtract 7/9 from both sides to get x by itself. That leaves us on this side with x, because 7/9 minus 7/9 is 0. And then we have 1/2 minus 7/9. Well, we need to find the common denominator between the two. We know that both 9 and 2 go into 18. 9 times 2 is 18. 7 times 2 is 14. 2 times 9 is 18. 1 times 9 is 9. So now we have 9 over 18 minus 14 over 18. 9 minus 14 is going to give us a negative 5 over 18. We can check our work. We can plug negative 5 over 18 in for x and see if everything equals out. So, negative 5 over 18 plus 7 over 9 equals 1/2. Let's see if that's a true statement. Well, we can't add those unless we have a common denominator. We know that 18 and 9 both go into 18, so we have 5 over 18 plus 18. 9 goes into 18 two times. 2 times 7 is 14. Negative 5 plus 14 equals 9 over 18. This can be simplified. 9 can go into itself one time. 9 can go into 18 two times. Equals 1/2. And that is a true statement. So x does equal a negative 5 over 18.